Okay, so I'm going to be putting together a nice little electric clock. Got this on Amazon. Very excited to get it going. Nice little package. Where to enter? I'll go right here. One thing that I really appreciate about this kit, not only is it the nice little packaging box, which they usually come in these little, plastic bags, and there's no directions or anything. This one has really nice, clear instructions that you can access via QR code. This is really something that brings a lot of value because a lot of these kits you buy, there aren't any instructions. And so you're kind of on your own in terms of just Googling, a picture or looking at the website that you bought it on or the description that you bought it on, finding a picture of it, and then using that to build your kit. But this company has a full-on, step-by-step, full-color, great quality photos that I'll be following to build this little clock. So pretty nice. So we have go through our components here. Here's our chip. Got 2 buttons. Here's our power source, got a capacitor, a piezo speaker. Here's our nice little display, capacitors, resistors. This one is interesting. I have to look at what the directions say this one is because I am not familiar with this piece. Very interesting. And then this is a crystal oscillator. Yeah, I got a little transistor there. So we'll scoot these over to the side. I got some new solder today. I'll be using today. Very excited about. It's supposed to be higher quality, but we will see. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first few things I'm going to be putting on are the resistors. I'm going to start there, do some capacitors, and kind of just move on from there. So we're going to start with our resistor. Okay. Very small bends here, so I'm going to want to make this nice and tight. Okay, nicely done. And we're also putting another one right here. The nice thing about resistors is it doesn't matter which way you put, they're not polarized components, not like some other components like LEDs or diodes or capacitors, some capacitors I should say. Yeah, capacitors, right? No, those are polarized. Okay. But these don't matter, so you get to make the colors line up. Looks good. Great, I'm gonna go ahead and solder those. I got this Helping Hands at Micro Center. $5. The thing is solid. But I don't know if I'm going to use it yet for this build, but we will see. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I've been using some solder that I got with my original kit just to use it up, and it was just garbage. Oh, wow. Night and day. Holy smokes. This is going to make me look so much better than I actually am at this. And you're all like, no, it doesn't. Wow. That is really amazing. It's also a lot thinner, so that's probably why it's melting so much easier. I tell you guys, though, I was struggling with the solder I was using, thinking I was just a bad solderer or whatnot, and no bueno. Of course, where are my clips? Got some new clips. Got these from iFixit. Like the guys over iFixit and the gals and everyone who works at iFixit. Beautiful. To a good start. Solid joints. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Coming from someone who wouldn't call themselves a very successful solderer, I am pretty happy with those joints. Okay, taking a look here. We've got the 3-piece ceramic. So we got a 104, 30, and a 30. And so I'll just identify these. The bigger one goes here, and our little ones are here and there. Great. Okay, so our bigger one goes here, with the writing facing this way. Excellent. I always thought these little capacitors were so interesting. If you ever take one apart, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's cool, but I think taking everything's apart is cool, so. To each their own. Popping this guy in. I don't know if you guys out there are Lego people. I find that this is the natural progression. I mean, I haven't put a Lego set together in a long time, but I imagine that it is truly the natural progression of someone who, as a kid, my room was just taken over by Legos. I remember one Christmas, I asked my parents, not for another Lego set, which, I mean, I probably got one, but for shelving, so I could display the Lego sets that I had. Like, kind of an interesting kid. What do you guys want? What do you want for Christmas, Kyle? Shelving? It's like, okay. Boy, this solder really makes just a huge difference. I am just truly blown away by this. I was having to always go back over with resin, and now there's no reason. Ho, that's free. Okay, looks pretty good. Great. All right. Feeling pretty solid. One thing I always do whenever I clip these is I close my eyes, because small pieces of metal and your eyeball are never a good combo, because, you know, retinas, needles, it just doesn't sound good. So got the capacitors in. Now we're going to pop in the crystal oscillator. Pretty neat. So in the directions it's showing it upside down. That was good. The directions it's showing it upside down, so I'm going to go ahead and follow. I'm not 100% sure if this is a polarized component or not. Okay. Not too bad. solid. Close my eyes, clip, close my eyes, clip. Okay. Not too bad. A little bit raised there, but I mean, it's not going to matter. Okay. I'm telling you, these instructions make this just so nice. So this is, so this piece, this is called a, where'd it go? Oh, I dropped it here. A network resistor. How interesting. A network resistor. I've never used one of these. So it's very important this one is placed text up when it pops in here. So it's going to pop in like this. Network resistor. You learn something new every day. Okay, now with these, a good technique with these larger components that I've learned is you want to do a little weld, or excuse me, a little solder on this end. And then just double check it, push it down if you need to. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then we go ahead and do the other side. And this just allows for a more, we're not fighting the thing as we're going by, and it's not going to be uneven. Excellent. Let's take a look. Okay. Nice. Looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. Now that I have properly sized solder, I think I need to turn my temp down a little bit. These are getting a little toasty. Just beautiful. I am so not used to this, how easy this is. I don't even know what I typed in on Amazon, but it's non-leaded solder. But this stuff is just rockin'. Really nice. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and snip these just a little bit just to keep them tidied up a little bit. You don't have to, but I'm going to because why not? This is really when you want to close your eyes, because a little bitty type of piece of metal, and that's just going to be a bad day. Something to think about too is like if you have little animals, you don't want them eating this stuff, so it's a good idea to vacuum up. All right, got that installed. Moving along. These instructions, I am just so impressed. Okay, so we're going to be putting in the socket for the integrated circuit, and it's very important that we line up this little notch there with the little notch down here. So that just pops in. Like, sometimes a few of these will be bent. So you just gotta, see that one right there is bent a little bit. That happens. Just bend it back a little bit. Pop it in. Great, and just like we did with that network resistor, we're gonna start at the corners and then work our way in and make sure that it's all even, because we don't want this to be like raised at all. It just won't look very nice, and not a huge risk of that if it's raised a little bit that there will be a bad connection, but why Why, you know, we don't want to do that. We want to make this look really good. Oop. Looks like we're still seated pretty well. Okay. Now to inspect. Gorgeous. Okay, so this is looking very flat. Perfect. Just what I want to see. Looking really good. So I'm going to go ahead and solder the rest of the joints. Turn this down again. Okay. This solder is just blowing my mind. It's kind of pathetic how impressed I am with solder, but I mean, why not? Okay, there's a few there I want to clean up that didn't add enough. It's not a full flow there, but just add a little bit, and I think we'll be good. These guys right there. Just add a little more. There we go. Looking good. I want to double check, make sure that I don't have any, looks like I don't have any connections there, so all those are nice and clean. It's looking good. Okay, I am going to trim these just a little bit. These ones are almost negligible. Okay, not too bad. Looking pretty good. About time. That's a clock joke. Don't be alarmed at my fantastic soldering jobs. Okay, now let's get the rest of this set. Now we're going to do 2 buttons. Let's see. We're also going to do the power socket. All right, so these buttons, I believe the buttons need to go, yeah, they're bridging these two. So that is how we'll do it. So the buttons are kind of going across horizontally as opposed to vertically. I don't even think they'd fit vertically, but just something to make sure that you're aware of when you're putting these in, because these guys can sometimes, with the holes that they give you, can be a little bit tricky. But let's see if we can get these. I'm just gonna straighten these guys out. These ones always have a little bit of a bend at the feet. So it just hangs in there more when we go to push them in. Oh, there we go. A little love. And we're good. Great. I'm going to bend these out a little bit just so it holds in. Oh, gotta love that clicky. The clickiness of these buttons is fantastic. because you should definitely judge a button by its click. That is just nice. Just got my first mechanical keyboard, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it's improved my gaming, even though it wouldn't take much to do that, but I feel like I notice a difference, but it's probably more of just it sounds nicer. I feel like the response time's a little bit better, but I mean, I'm very much a novice when it comes to gaming, so what do I know? I like typing on it though, although if you work in an office setting, I would imagine your neighbor's not liking you using a mechanical keyboard, because they can be a little bit loud sometimes. So go ahead and get these buttons done. Again, I'm going to do, these are pretty wedged in there, so I'm not really worried about them moving, but I'm going to go ahead and do the whole, I'm going to rotate. Sometimes I know that when you're using a soldering iron, the heat can kind of build up, so it's good to rotate around. Like when I was doing these, probably a good idea to like kind of go back and forth, just so that one side of the board isn't getting too hot. The odds of it really affecting these things. These little boards are always so sturdy. Like one of my first builds was a calculator from Spickenzie Labs. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, and so I was taking solder, melting it on the iron, and then taking the dab of now crusty and just gnarly looking solder that was burning and getting all, you know, hard and whatnot, then dipping that down on the solder joints, and the whole thing still worked. Like, now I look at that calculator, and I'll put a battery into it and it still works fine, but you look at the back of it and oh my gosh, those joints are just hideous. Like, this is not working well. This is what happens when you try to multitask. Okay, let's do it. Come on. There we go. But yeah, just disgusting. We've come a long way since that first kit. That is for sure. Okay, nice. Definitely, they have longer legs, thicker legs than the other components. So go ahead and snip these just a little bit. Close my eyes. Good news is, even with closing my eyes, I've yet to have one of these things nail me in the eyeball. So if you like to gamble, then don't close your eyes when you clip these. And then maybe you'll just be lucky. But I always like to be a more cautious. I've always been more of a cat person, so more cautious like a cat. All right, got those in, looking good. Okay, so the next thing I'm installing is the power connector. And this is just gonna pop in. Looks like the legs go here. There's 3 legs. That pop in there. So that's interesting because there's these little plastic legs here. So you never know if these things, because of how we have little just legs here, over time, how this will perform. Now, I mean, I don't know what you're going to be using this for, so I don't think, years and years of service is going to be super important to you. But still, nonetheless, we'll see. It might need some retouch-ups here and there if those joints aren't super solid. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to go for that center one. This is staying pretty centered right now. I'm going to go for that center one and then check. I think that'll be a good technique. Okay, let's see. Beautiful. Solid, nice and flat. Still a little wiggly just because I've only got one joint in there. But a nice joint nonetheless. Okay. I need to unwind some of my solder that I've been using. Okay, get that one filled in, looking good. And this last one. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm proud of those. Those are some nice. You know, it's gonna be funny when I post this and be like, those are awful joints. You have no idea what you're doing. And I'm gonna be like, I never claimed to. Just like putting stuff together. All right, got a nice little tri-cut there. Nice and clean. All right, fun. All right, so we got the power in. We only got a few more components here. Move it along. Okay, the piezo speaker. Piezo speaker is what is up next. And we also have the transistor. So it says step 6, install 4-bit digital tube and integrated circuit, and then test. Wow, so we're almost done. Beautiful. Okay. And then we do have an electrolytic capacitor, and that is going up over here. Now these guys, we do have a positive and a negative. You can see the positive, there's a little plus here, and the shaded in area is the negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in. The long end here is the positive, and the shorter leg is the negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one now. These ones can be kind of interesting just because they're so tall when you do these. So just, you know, be aware. If you're really anal and you don't like it when things aren't perfect, then you might spend more time making sure this is perfectly level and whatnot, but I don't really care. I just like the final product. Okay, here we go. Nice. Do a quick sturdy check. Nice and sturdy. Looking pretty good. All right, gonna go ahead and clip. 1, 2. I always find it interesting how some of these components, the legs are so much longer than the others. And then some, it's like you got no slack. So if you happen to mess up or something and you have to go back and do it, it's like, good luck. Okay. Now with these little transistors, you always figure these out because the place you put it has a little curve, and these themselves have a curve to them. That's showing up here. But yeah, you can see the white background there. Has a curve. If I go like this, there. Now you can tell. Okay. So these will just pop in like this, and then we'll just solder all 3 of the legs. You could have probably gotten away with doing this kit without the directions. Something I'll eventually build and try and record is I have an oscilloscope. That thing has a lot of pieces. It's pretty intimidating for someone who has not done any of the surface mounted stuff yet. So that will be a challenge nonetheless. But I am excited about challenges. I'm willing to take it on because I bought it. So gotta hope you are. Okay, so got that in there. You don't need to press these down very far. You don't want to break it. These pieces, if you end up breaking something or like that, it's not that they're expensive themselves. It's just that going and trying to find that one piece, like, you may have to buy them in packs online because the odds that they're going to sell them individually are just, not super high. Oh, just gorgeous, this solder. So impressed. Beautiful. transistor is such an interesting little device because that is what is inside, or the transistors are what's inside all of our little computers, and they have gotten down to such small scales. They can fit, I think it's 7 nanometers now is where we're at in terms of how small they are. It's really impressive. Moore's law, which means we always want more. kind of hitting a plateau of that, but we will see. Quantum computing, that's the next place, right? Okay, so this one again was polarized, so I don't know if I showed that. Double check. So yeah, the longer leg goes into the plus. So piezo speaker is polarized, which makes sense because it is a output device like an LED or some of those. Most of your output devices are going to be polarized. Okay, this one doesn't want to hold on as much. It's also just got bigger legs. Come on, don't get cold on me. There we go. Yeah, not too great, but whatever. There we go, I like that better. Okay, let's double check this one. Looks like it's just holding up to the base. Can't tell if it's at the base or not. Okay. It's not my best job, but I'll take it. Yeah. That one looks a lot better than this one. That is for sure. But it's pretty solid in there, so not too worried. Clip those. Okay. All right. So pull that little sticker off. We're only left with 2 more things. We got the integrated circuit, and we have the display. Fun. This has been a very quick build. Loving it. Quick build at 32 minutes. So that will really tell you how quick, what I consider quick. I did a LED flashlight not that long ago, and we're talking maybe 5 components, and it probably took me as long as this. It had been a while since I'd done any soldering, so it's not, it doesn't really matter how fast you go, right? Okay, let's see if we can get this in there. Sometimes people recommend putting these in and then just like prior to mounting it. It's really just your preference. It's not going to make a difference on like how it works or anything. Sometimes it can be easier, like right now I'm not having a great time. You kind of just have to finagle them until they get into place. You don't want to go too, you don't want to go too hard because then things can get bent, but you can see what it looks like. You have metal tabs there, and those are all facing in, so when we press this in, these little metal pins pop into place. And we want to get them all in there. Oh, I think I had felt them taken. There, and when it slides in, when all those little legs line up, you just know, because it has that feeling. That's solid. Ooh, I think I got it. Let's see. Yeah, this is looking good. Ooh, I'm not feeling it right now. It didn't feel so solid. It sounded like it was bending. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so there it goes. And you just press it down all the way, and we're good. Right, we do want to make sure all those legs are in there, all nice and uniform. What you don't want is one leg bending outward, but they're pretty sturdy, so you usually don't run into problems. Okay, now we have our display, and isn't that a beauty? Look at that back there. Normally when I get these, each of the segments are separate, so this is interesting how with this manufacturer decided to go with a like all integrated one. So I'm assuming that's what this network resistor has something to do with. That's most likely. So each of the resistors are used to help regulate the current. I hope that's right. Like with LEDs and whatnot. Otherwise, you can burn out LEDs. So this is an LCD display, so there's LEDs in there. So my guess is that these are kind of the board drives. Obviously the board integrated circuit drives the LED and whatnot, the display. But I think that's this guy's, all of these are working on that one. Okay, there we go. So just popped right in. Beautiful. And now I'll just set it down. And again, just like I was doing with those other ones, I'm gonna just tack this corner one. Nice, in this one. That was easy, that was a really quick one. Wow. And then just double check. Ooh, see, wow. So see how that raised up there? We don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna touch this one, pops right in. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Basically just touch it and then press. And so once it melts, I can press it down. And so now, super flat. And that way my board isn't, don't touch it with this, but isn't gonna be rising up and down. So, here we go. I did a good thing. Okay, and now he's got us go through and do the rest of the little joints. Gotta clean got a little too much. Okay. Yeah, these I don't know what you call the base of the solder pad or the whatever you call that. I'm gonna kind of alternate here. They are just soaking in the solder. Sometimes some companies, like, you can tell they kind of cheaped out on stuff, and so you just don't get very nice joints. But these ones, like, it's probably just a combination of I'm using the solder that I'm like not used to, and so everything seems amazing. But these are just perfect. Like, they're just taking it in. It's really, I'm barely having to touch it with the iron, and it's just boom in there. Oh, get that cleaned. Last one. Cheers. All right. Do a little shake test. Feeling good. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. You never know some of these things if there's like, oh, yeah, look at that, nice. We, my wife and I, we've had our TV now for 4 years now, and the other day I went to the base of it and noticed there was like a scratch, and I was like, oh, that's lame, and then I peel off the entire cover off the base of it. You know, 4 years later, now it's looking brand new. I was like, it's pretty funny. Okay. Man, these guys really go everywhere. So I used to always end up vacuuming after I do this because we have cats and they don't want them eating these little pieces of metal. That's not good. Although the cats do need their iron. All right. So the build is complete. All that's left to do is test it. Crossing my fingers now. It does come, the kit does come with a a USB cable to power plug that we installed there. So pretty exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in. The moment of truth. Did our joints hold? Booyah! Let's check that out. Beautiful. I have not looked at the direction. Whoa. Look at that. So this button beeps. So we got, I need one of those little filter things because I wonder if that was the filter. Did I pull off the filter or did I pull off the cover? A lot of times these will come with a, filter that, oh, good Lord. That is loud. Okay. Do I have to hold? Okay, so, wow. That is a powerful little piezo speaker. Okay, so, all right, what we got going here? There's time, 1 o'clock. There's timer. Oh, it's going up, like a stopwatch. Oh, there's alarm 1. Okay, yeah, I don't want to use that, so I have to like hold it. Okay, so wow, I'm not gonna try and set this right now, but the good news is that it works. Very fun little build, not too hard, really great entry level one. Not that many components, and the components that are here are really easy to put in. And the directions, I mean, I'm really impressed. This company actually took the time to go through and put together some really nice directions, and I appreciate that. That's not a common thing to find when you're buying these little kits on Amazon or eBay. So very cool. Thanks for watching.